Hey guys, just thought I'd give a rundown on the new Armstrong Foils Downwind performance boards. I've just finished a solid 2-week trip using this board on runs I've previously done and also on new runs thanks to this board and its new design. Now before I go on, it's important to mention that downwinding is not just about your gear. The more runs I've made, I realise that local area familiarisation, personal skills and fitness contribute to the success of your runs. My local downwind spots have tempered my skill set, and I'll be really discussing what's changed for me by upgrading my board. Your local spot may have more or less challenges, and my selection of board might not apply to you and your area. Something to keep in mind for this video. I've just come off the version 1 6'8" 96 litre. It has been an amazing and versatile board catering for light wind winging, wave sup foil and of course downwinding. I also had my V1 board on this trip. I've never trained or focused on pure flat water starts, so I've always chipped in for my local downwind runs. Restarts and choppy conditions have been the most challenging aspect for me. I'm 77 kilograms, giving me a 19 litre surplus, which is fair on the old SUP model of board selection. But restarts at my local with its weak energy and upwind current would often bog the nose no matter how good the lump was to restart. This is the only aspect of the 6'8" board that had me wanting more length or volume, especially in the nose area. I'd usually prevail, but did find it was restricting my expansion of runs due to energy spent on the restarts. Now there are 3 sizes of downwind performance boards: a 98 litre 8.2 by 16 3/4, a 108 litre 8.11 by 17 1/4 inches, and a 118 litre 9'6" by 17 1/4. All these boards are 5 7/8 inches thick. I chose the 8'2" by 16 3/4 98 litre downwind performance board. Despite wanting to step up and ease the burden and choose the 108 litre board, in the end I decided to keep some of the challenge and retain the smallest amount of board possible for the foiling experience. I know from other board sports that an increase of 2 litres is always palpable, but would the increased length and narrow waist add stability and also paddle ups? All good in theory, but so tough to know when choosing a board. So how did it work out? The day the board arrived, we had a 2-day flat spell, which offered me a great opportunity at some orientation. You can see it was not a foreign experience coming off the V1 96 litre. I was expecting instability, but was so surprised at how stable the long narrow shape was. It was a natural transition from the V1 board, and I felt I was getting exactly what I was missing from the 6'8" 96 litre board. Paddle ups were better than I could ever expect, and suddenly my mind was flooded with possibilities of flat water start points for runs I'd been looking at for years, but also the relief of easier restarts to increase the enjoyment over labour ratio of my runs. As soon as the wind and swell returned, I was off. I jumped in the deep end and sent myself on a 22-kilometre run. The day started flat with no wind. By 1 PM it was 25 knots, but only waist-high bumps with a weak energy. I opted for the HA 880 foil and the Speed 180 stabiliser. I placed the mast at FG8 where I had been on the previous board. It all worked out famously. I had to get out to sea about 1 kilometre before there was a bump big enough for me to get going, but I already knew that I wouldn't have bothered on my previous board. The swing weight was beautifully balanced and felt good on the 795 performance mast. The extra length would tap tail on bumps to start with, but nothing grabbed, and once I had settled into the board, touchdowns were not even an issue. The only loss I noticed was roll. At 16 7/8 inches wide, leveraging technique just needed a little adjustment, but the grip runs all the way to the edges of the board, so you can hang your toes over if you have to. With the HA 880, the experience overall was still nimble and handled the short period bumps better. Some days you need the slow weave of the HA foils, and others you need the speed and glide of the downwind performance foils. But overall, I'm stoked that I took the 98 litre model. It has unlocked new runs for me and the potential of expanding my distances. For a small loss and roll, which to be honest is just as much about your foil selection, I've gained 2 litres of volume, stability and length, better pop-ups, better restarts and a lighter board. If you're on a V1 downwind board and wanting to focus on your downwinding, you could easily progress to a volume closest to your current board. You could have a comparable experience reformed for downwind performance. So I hope this has been a helpful insight for you. Feel free to fire me any questions below. Have fun out there, guys.